Alrighty, since the deer's been drying for a couple days in a warm room, we're going to keep checking on everything. The eyes are drying up great. We've got to keep coming back to them and pushing up the lids. Make sure they're close and hugging that eyeball like they would naturally. The nose, the shape is turning out awesome. We still got our tissue paper in there to hold the shape, even though it's mostly dry. You can feel it. Hurts to flick it. Chin's lined up straight, lips are tucked. We'll leave the wires in the ears as they're still drying, but you can see how cool that ear muscle looks on this deer. It's not too ridiculous, just a cool look. That is something that a lot of people miss out on, and to me that's a big part of a mount. Can really make or break it. This real thick neck is lined up, beautiful patch on him. This buck was taken up northern Indiana by a good friend of mine, Ross Huff, and it is a epitome of a nice whitetail. It's real thick all the way out to the tips. It is a 13-pointer, real thick bases. Just a real neat deer with a real cool story, and I would like to thank Ross Huff for letting me mount this and film it. So we've still got a little bit to do. We're going to be airbrushing here soon, putting wax in the eyes, airbrushing the ears, and pulling some pins out that we don't want showing since everything is dried. So that's it, and give it a few more days and we're ready to go. Okay, now we're at the point where we can start painting, start finishing up this deer. We're going to paint the ears, the eyes, and the nose. I start with the ears just because I start with my lighter color and use a whitish pink in the ears. And we'll move to the eyes, we'll do some brown, mix in a little black, just not too much though, and get that life tone. And we'll do the same thing on the nose, get black. But I don't make my nose all the way black. What I do there towards the bottom, up under here, I might lighten it up just a little bit with the brown. So that's what we'll start doing. First we'll show you how to brad around the antlers. I've already got a couple up here. I left them so I could show how to do that. Okay, right here is what I wanted to show. We did our plastic. You can see where I've pinned on either side of this seam, right up through the center. Just get you a milk jug or anything with kind of a pliable plastic and just pin it. And as it's drying, that'll keep the hair down and it'll keep that seam shut. You can't ever do this too much. This is just neat, so when the customer sees it, it just looks all around, all the way around cleaned up and real neat. You get a lot of guys that don't even care they say, oh well, you can't see it. Well, to me that's just poor craftsmanship when you just leave it there and in a couple of weeks the sewing comes apart and spreads out. So you want to, it's one of those things, you want a good name for yourself if you want to keep doing this and you want your customers to come back. So, alright, here's a good example of coming back to the eye. You can see this eye has already started to separate from the eye, or this eyelid has already started to separate from the glass eye. You can see the clay, it's exposed. So what you want to do is you want to keep pushing this lid up as much as you can, and just be easy and don't make any scratch marks. Just keep pushing that up and you can scrape some of that clay out. Just keep doing that until that eye sits right. You want that lid hugged up against it real well. We're going to start, I'm going to show you how to put some pins here in the antlers, and keep that hair pushed up against that base, because man, that hide will really pull down and you'll see everything if you don't do anything here. Kind of as you put the bit in, kind of pull up the whole thing up and drill into what's left of the skull cap. Then put yourself some finishing nails or some bigger nails, it doesn't really matter. And then each day keep coming back and pushing those towards the antler base, or tying rubber bands to them and attaching them to the brow tines just to keep pinching on. So we'll do this and get our nails inserted and be done with that. Alrighty, we're going to start messing with the airbrush now. What I like to do is I like to play with it and spritz it on the wall. That's what these black and white spots are on the wall. They look like mold, but they're actually spots where I've been painting and testing out. Make sure I get a good spray out of my paintbrush. What we're going to start doing is we're going to start using the white on the ears and maybe spray a little pink in there. I don't do that much, but just maybe a little bit. Even though this will probably dry a little bit more, I still like to paint around here, and then when I'm done I'll put the wax in, and then I'll spray my second layer on. So that's what I like to do. Alright, we'll take our tissue paper out and spray a little bit of brown in the nose. still want some of this white to show here. Just depending on the color of the deer's nose. Okay, that's what it looks like so far. You can see it. We've painted the nose already, done the eyes, and what we'll do now, I put tissue paper back inside the nose just to keep it as it drying, just to keep the, it won't hurt anything at all. Just keep that in there. What we'll do is we'll let this dry on the wall, and once it's done and complete, we'll add a couple more finishing touches.